Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I got a new project for you guys to join me in fixing. As you can see on the table here, I have a horribly hideous, let's see if I can get the logo. Oh, there it is. There you go. It's a Colt. This is a Colt Trooper 357. As you can see from, let me see if I can get it. Sorry guys. Serial number. It's was made around 1969, I believe. It's really ugly. I got a little impatient and started working on the metal a little bit. But what we're gonna do is, when I got this gun, I paid $200 for it. You can see it's pretty badly pitted all in here, and on this side, it's really rough. When I got it, it was missing the back screw. You can see this one's original and this one's a aftermarket. And it's missing grips, and it was missing the mainspring. So when those parts came in, I got impatient. I wanted to see if it would actually function since it was all locked up. And I did get it to work, so it does actually function, single and double action. And the double is actually pretty smooth. I have a Smith & Wesson 581, which is pretty similar to this. And this, I have to say, the Colt is a bit smoother in double action than the Smith is. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this a whole project. We're going to take this all the way down, take all the pieces out, re-blue the whole thing. We're going to take the bluing off first, obviously. Work on all this pitting, see if we can obviously leave some of the nicer marks like the Colt logo, the Trooper 357, and I think there's a Colt marking over here. We're going to try to get as much of that to stay on the gun as much as possible. I can't guarantee that, but we'll see what we can do. We're going to sit it in a vinegar bath to remove all of the remaining bluing and as much rust as we can get off of it. Then we're going to rust blue it. I have rust bluing solution and distilled water, so I'm going to take you guys through the process of rust bluing this thing, which is not for the faint of heart. It's not hard, it's just very time consuming. And then we're going to put it back together and see if we can make a pretty Colt out of it. I already got some grips. Obviously, you can see that I got the parts here, so I got the mainspring and the screw here. But first things first, we're gonna do is we're gonna start taking it down. So let me make sure we're adjusted and go ahead and start taking this apart for you guys. All right, I adjusted our field of view a little bit. You guys will get a slightly bigger picture of what we're actually looking at. Couple things that are really important if you want to take on a project like this. If you want to do any home gunsmithing on your own, especially a fine revolver, this obviously is an Uggo, so it's not that big of a deal if we scratch it because we're going to be buffing it, sanding it, re-bluing it. But if you're going to work on your own guns, get yourself a screwdriver kit, a gun screwdriver kit, not something like this. I do have this for junk. Like around the house crap. Don't use that. Use something that is fitted. I think I got this off eBay used for $20, something like that. It wasn't very expensive. It will save you a lot of headache and it'll keep you from scratching or gouging any of your screws. That's one of the more important things that I've learned. So let's go ahead and get our screwdriver out and find the bit that will best fit into our screws. So that one fits there. A little too wide. We might go with the most narrow one. Back here. That fits pretty well. Okay, so we'll go ahead and use this one here. I will occasionally have my hands in the way, so I apologize for that. Go ahead and take our bottom screw out. And I'm just going to sit these over here. We will take these and put them in the vinegar bath as well, and then do our best to re-blue them. We may, I'm not sure if I'm decided yet, I might niter blue these, which is a different process than rust bluing. We'll see what we think of. Niter bluing gives it a more electric blue finish. Rust blue will give it a deeper finish. So we'll take that one out. I'm going to switch bits, because this one is, this screw back here has a very narrow screw face. So I'll do that. All right, and another thing that you'll learn, let's go ahead and take the cylinder out first, and then I'll show you guys a trick for taking this out. So the way to get the cylinder out is you're going to take this screw over here. If you have a modern, well, actually, I don't know if that's a modern thing or not. It might be from some of the older Colts. There's a different design here with some of the Colt revolvers that has a like a locking pin and a screw. So when you tighten it down, the pin actually rides with the screw and they both come out together. This one is just a screw. So we're going to go ahead and take this out. This is going to allow us to take the cylinder off. So that comes out. Be careful when you take this one out. Mine was really, really tight. I obviously took it down a little bit earlier to get all the other stuff working. But mine was tight. If yours is tight like mine was, make sure you put a good bit of down pressure on it so you don't gouge the screw head. Put that aside. Now we should be able to turn this over, release your cylinder, and this should come right out. There we go. We'll take that further apart later. So, little trick for this part here. To get this off, never, never, never go prying on it. You can see these are really nicely fitted together. The lines, this one's a little rough, but the lines are very, very tight. The seams are really, really tight. If you go prying on it, you're going to bend this up and make it look terrible. So the way I found most gunsmiths do it, take this, tap it on the bottom of the frame. There goes your ejector. Sorry, that's not your ejector. That's your release. If you tap it like that, your plate will come off. There are your ugly workings. So inside this, we got some bad rust developing. And somebody's at the door, so we'll take a pause. I will get back to you guys. All right, sorry for the jump cut. I have my girlfriend just got home, and my dog's coming in. So what we're gonna do here is start taking this down as best we can. I don't have a pair of pliers on me. I might. Oh, I do have a pair. Perfect. Sorry, I'm grabbing these off camera. Got a little pair of pliers to take the mainspring out. This has got a good bit of tension, so you're gonna have to press that. Let's see what we can do here. So first I'm gonna take this completely apart, so bear with me. I think this one, if you give it a little twist and a little bit of a pry, come on, this should come up and out like that. Give it twist, 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 and it'll come out of the spring. Take that out. Next, we are going to see if we can't depress this. Move that out of the way, and then your mainspring comes out. So if you press down on it, this piece here, which the mainspring rides on, you can move that out of the way so you can take the mainspring out. The mainspring's just dirty with rusty parts. Next thing we got to do is get this taken out. So this one's going to be a little bit more tough because we need to punch that pin. And of course I left my hammer and my roll pin punch. Regular pin punches downstairs. So again, give me one more jump cut. I'll go grab the stuff and be right back. All right, sorry for the disruption. People in the house. So, we are back to taking this pin out. You can see I already started it. I tried doing it, and it was rusted in pretty heavily, and so I didn't want to beat on this desk. So I did it on a different surface real quick to try to get it loose. So we'll tap it out, rest away. Make sure we don't lose it. There's your pin. And then this should move forward and out, I hope. There we go. And ooh, that is real rough. You can see that there is a lot of rust in there. We should, as long as this fin isn't too bad, it just doesn't look like it's too pitted, we should be able to save that. All right. From here, should be able to lift out. So these are your two sears. If anybody is curious how a double action revolver works, this is just kind of an aside. When you pull your first sear is this connection here. So as you pull your trigger, it's like this. You pull your trigger, it hits that first sear, this spring here, and fires. Ooh, let's see, fires. And then when you put it in single action mode, see this clicks back in. Single action mode is actually that's your double action sear. This is your single action sear. So you put it in single action. When you pull the trigger, it goes forward. So it's pretty simple. So there is your hammer strut thing. No, the strut on a thing is different. Sorry, this is actually just, I guess, would be called your hammer. And your 2 sears. So there's your sear points. I'm not sure we're going to take this any further down. Oops. So we can if we need to. You can punch this. You could probably punch this pin out and that pin out, and this is spring loaded. We're going to take this and put it in a vinegar bath and see if we need to take it down any further. If we don't, that probably will be good. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Put that aside. All right, so I think now we should be able to lift out our trigger. The other thing, there you go, there's your whole trigger mechanism. So these ride back into here. This is more for me than for you guys, so I can remember when I put it back together. This is how it goes. These ride, so I can rewatch this video. These ride back into these points, up into there. So taking off all this rust is going to be really important. The other thing we can do to smooth, obviously I'm not a professional gunsmith, but my guess is if we stone and polish some of these touching surfaces in here, it will probably smooth up the trigger pull, as that is what is going to metal. Anytime, the way I feel about it, anytime you have metal on metal contact, you want to make those as smooth as possible. So we'll probably do that too. We'll probably end up doing a little bit of trigger work to make it as pretty as possible. So on here you can see they have lock. There goes one of them. They have locking channels. So this one actually just rides in this channel. So you take that out. Then on this one it looks like it, actually I think it's just the same thing. It's just had a little bit of rust on it. So maybe not. No, actually I think it rides in a channel inside. So you have to push it all the way down to lift it off. So there is your trigger. This is the sear point on the trigger. So this is going to have a very specific angle. I don't have a sear grinder here. I have this stuff to do sear work on a 1911, but I don't actually have anything. There's a whole jig that you can get to where you can work on the sear angle. I don't have that, so we probably won't be touching any of that. Let's see. All right, so we're almost done. Next up, we have a screw here that needs to be taken out, and it's spring loaded. That, I believe, locks the cylinder in place and doesn't allow it to spin. You can see it kind of moves here when it's up. So that locks the cylinder. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our screwdriver back out, see if this fits. It does, actually. Remember, lots of downward pressure so you don't strip the head of the screw off. And we're going to remove this screw. Oh, it's pretty grody. These are they're amazing pieces of machinery. These things are really well put together. I don't think I have the skill to do this myself if I had to, or the tools. All right, we'll go ahead and lift this out. As you can see, there's a spring here, so I'm guessing this is going to go boing if you're not careful. So lift this out a little bit. What's the best way to do this? Maybe down at an angle. Like that. We gotta get it out of that channel. There we go. And lift it out. And I'm hoping the spring is attached to a stud. Okay, it's not. There's a hole there. So you can see there's a little hole that the spring actually fits into. And that's what it retains it. And that is just about it. We have over here, I'll move this into the shot so you can see. Oh, we actually need to take the cylinder off the crane. You can see we have a whole bunch of parts over here that are going to all go in the bluing. We have this. This is our frame. The other thing we can do, this is this. So one little cool piece of info. This frame is, as far as I'm aware, is the same frame that was used on the Colt Pythons. So it's the same Python frame, same Python internals, different barrel, obviously. They don't have the lugs, the underlug and the lug on top. But these were basically the poor man's Python. Oh, we got to take this out. This is a locking retainer for the cylinder. These were the same as the Pythons. They were just kind of the poor man's Python. I think they marketed these at police and carriers, concealed carry. Well, I don't even know if they had concealed carry then, but you get the idea. But so these have, hopefully you guys can see. I'm not sure if it'll focus or not. Internal firing pin. So a lot of the revolvers from this era would have had, let's see where this is at, a hammer mounted firing pin. So this is the hammer. Obviously this is how it fits in. It would have had a firing pin with a little spring on it, and it would have just gone all the way through. Colt, for whatever reason, decided they were going to do frame mounted firing pins, which is, you know, different. It's kind of cool. So the main thing to get to that, though, is you have to take your rear sight off, which this thing is pretty rusted in place. There's also a screw over here, so if we can get this off, this will be good too. Let me put these away so we can make sure they get unblued. Go ahead and see if we can take this rear sight assembly apart. I haven't done one of these. I think it's screw mounted. Yeah, see all the goop that's coming out? It's pretty dirty. Go ahead and take the screw out. Just be careful. I think there is a spring mechanism. Maybe not. Maybe that just locks it in place. So yeah, to get your rear peep sight out, there's your screw. And I'm not 100% sure if this needs a pounding or what. It looks like it's pretty rusted in place, so I may do that off camera. There's a lot of rust up in here, so it may be kind of stuck in place. So I'll do that, save you guys the agony of watching me beat on that and try to take it out. Next thing we got to do is remove our rear sight. My phone is yelling at me, telling me that the GoPro is about to die, so obviously if I lose you guys, then I'll just jump cut. So see if we can get this done real quick. We're almost done here. So we need to remove the screw. There's also a spring. This is spring tensioned. So this is kind of a oh, there's a whoop. Here goes a ball bearing. I am so glad I just caught that. That is pure luck. If you guys can see this, that is super, super lucky. If you guys are taking one of these apart, be careful of that. There's a ball bearing that just came out of here. You see that little spring? There it is. I guess do not lose that bearing. I had no idea that little ball bearing was there. So that is total luck. Don't lose that. That would be real bad. Let's see, up in here, that's just the screw. Push it down, take your screw out. And it looks like it had a little washer on it that is all sorts of messed up. There's also a pin here. So eventually, when I go to take this downstairs, you'll have to drive this pin out. It's just a roll pin. Drive the roll pin out, and this sight leaf will come off. Besides that, this has a really similar style springed. If you've ever taken apart a 1911, this is pretty similar to that. So you push in on your actual firing pin, push up on this thing here, firing pin retainer, I believe is what it would be called, like that. And you get it high enough, and your firing pin will come out. I don't think I can do that with this on here, so I'm gonna have to drive this pin out, remove this whole sight, and then you push in here on your firing pin, push that up, and this is going to have a little spring and be spring loaded, very similar to 1911. So before my camera dies, I'm gonna go ahead and jump cut. The next thing we will be doing will probably be, let's see if that comes out. No, that's stationary. The next thing we're gonna do, those pins I think stay put. No reason to take them out. So the next thing we're gonna do, I'll take the camera downstairs and show you guys. We're gonna drop this in a vinegar bath. The mild acidity of the vinegar will take all the bluing off, so it'll get rid of all the bluing. This metal will be in the white, and hopefully it'll get rid of some of the rust up in here. And then from there, we're just gonna do some metal prep, see what we can remove, and then we'll get rebluing. So I will see you guys in the next video. Sorry guys, last thing, almost forgot. This is gonna be jump cut it in real quick. The crane and the cylinder comes apart further, and we're gonna need to take this down as well. So you can see, I already started, I loosened it up. Again, it was really stuck. There is a witness mark here, and there are two pins there for the ejector to fit into. So what you're going to want to do is take the spring tension off of the ejector, and this is mine. I had loosened already, obviously. This threaded onto here, so you're going to want to spin it off. Then this crane should come, I'm sorry, the cylinder will come off like that. There's your witness mark and your 2 little holes. This should come apart further, if I am not mistaken. Sorry if I'm being poor at this. I think we can unscrew this head piece here, which is going to be tough. But to take this down further, you have to grip it. There are special tools for this. Obviously, I didn't buy them, but you grip around here, and then I believe this unscrews here. I'm probably wrong about that, but either way, this should be far enough down. I'll probably, off camera, I'll work on taking this down further, but this is how far we want to get it down to, so we can unblue all this, make sure the cylinders are nice and clean, and, you know, go through it. So, all right, guys. All right, one more quick update. The way to take this out is there's a locking ring that sits inside here. So there is a spot here and a spot here where a tool would go in and twist. I'm going to have to try to make some sort of tool to take that apart, to take that locking ring out. This something to remember if you're taking this apart, spring tension. So don't let the spring shoot across the room. But you need to unscrew this like that. So spot there, give that locking ring a twist so the whole part comes out, and that'll be the last of it. So about to lose this camera, it's about to die, so I'll do that on my own.